My book is called Five Go Missing, and it's a collection of poems. There's about 60 poems in here. There's 3 sections, and each section it speaks to the other section to a certain extent. Sometimes it fleshes out ideas that I cover throughout the poems, and the book, the collection itself, it took me about 6 years to write, editing, revising, never being satisfied with the poems, always having to go back, and finally I just decided to stop and just let it be, you know. But this year, in April, my book got published. It took about 8 months to go through the process of working with the editor, working with the press, and getting it the way it is now. You know, finding the artist, finding ways to improve the content and how to best bring out the ideas in terms of the chronology of the poems. And
how did you land on that?
That was probably the hardest thing to come up with, the title. I had different titles. I had about, when I knew I was going to get it published, when the press decided to publish the manuscript, one of the things that I struggled with was finding a title. You know, what title would kind of, I guess, fit the content. And one of the things that I realized is that a lot of the poems are, the speakers in the poems, there's always something missing in them, or, in terms of, I don't know, emotionally or spiritually, or they're looking for something or someone. Sometimes the speakers get lost themselves in their own lives, or, and one of the things that one of the concerns that I write about in the book, or some of the poems deal with the violence in the Mexican border. You know, I have family in Mexico, so I know firsthand how they're affected by it, and how often people just go missing, you know, and never found. And when they're found, they're found in pieces, right? So the title not only speaks in terms of metaphor, you know, but also to specific events, specifically in the border, South Texas border. I mean, the poems, I have poems about everything, right? About loss, about love, about, a spiritual search for meaning. I have poems that cover a wide range of experiences, right? But at the same time, one of the things, like I said before, one of the things that I found in common throughout the book, or something that united the book, was this idea of things and people and going missing, or missing something in their lives, or trying to find ways to fill their life with meaning. I mean, that's still, you know, but at the same time, I mean, I can tell you that poems, some of the poems speak specifically to history, or to current events that affect us, you know. And I think the challenge is how to write about something that's current, and make it poetic, you know, and not just write about it, and, you know, and like a reporter will write about it, but transcend the immediacy. I think it validates, I guess, that the work that I've been doing for so long, and it kind of becomes something concrete to. I mean, it's going to sound like a cliche, but to a dream, you know, to the dream that I had since I was a kid of creating something. You know, I tried art, I tried painting, I tried music, and I knew that writing was something that I was good at, you know, and it's always a way of, for me, it was always a way to express, to communicate, to you know, to find ways to say something worthwhile. And now it's basically up to the readers, you know, to decide that, you know, and whether the poems say something worthwhile and lasting. But it satisfies a lot of things in me, you know. It's a validation of hard work. It speaks to never giving up, you know. To even though I teach, even though I've done all kinds of work, I have always wanted, or I always kept writing. I always, you know, kept had a relationship with language and words, and so so yeah, I think it, and it also, it's a beginning, but it's also to a certain extent an end, because now it's kind of like done, and now I have to think about what comes next.